Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? My name is Kyle, you know me as Dragonmar, and welcome to a new video. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm a Valorant content creator slash coach who actually solo queued to Radiant with Omen back in episode 1, Act 3. And today we have an Omen VOD to review. This is Plat 3, but he's also been in Diamond before, and he was wondering how he can get to Immortal. And that's a question a lot of people have, especially players who play controllers and smokes, and that's what we're going to focus in on in this video, is how to hit Immortal when you're playing a controller or playing smoke, something that I actually feel like I'm an expert in. So with that being said, if you guys enjoy these VOD reviews, remember to hit that subscribe button. So many of you guys watching are not subscribed, and it would mean a lot to me, and it helps the channel out. And with that all being said, you guys know this VOD is going to be reviewed on the 5-star system as always. And let's start the review here, shall we? So looking on this first round here, just kind of some more passive type play. We did see an early kill in this round, which is really good. That's what we want to see here. So as you can see, there was some good pressure here. It forces this Reyna. Then we're going to smoke off CT. Since we already have garage control, there's no need to smoke garage. I don't really know why you're doing this. I mean, there's not too much of a point to that, especially when you have control of sight. They can probably hear you do that as well. But if you are going to take high ground, that's fine. Maybe the reason you felt like you could do that is just because you had sight control. You want to play high ground, totally fine. But then you jump off and kind of give it up for nothing. So I don't really know about that play, but it doesn't really matter. End up getting the kill on the jet there, which was very nice. And your team should go on to win this round. Now, in a pistol round, you get 2 kills. Things look pretty good there. Decent smoke timing. 4 stars there. Nice job. And guys, I just want to remind you all that I am doing a giveaway on my Twitter for the new RGX bundle. If you guys are interested, make sure you check that out. Now, with that being said, let's get into this second round here, going for the Spectre buy. You guys know me. We always like Spectre buys in second rounds after you win the first one. I do find that when you stick on pistols or a couple people have ghosts, those are always the rounds you lose on the anti-eco. So on these rounds, just buy Spectres. I think it will really help you win them. Okay, getting super aggressive here. This actually could have been a bit of a misplay. You always got to check who has the spike there. So our friend Omen here getting a little bit risky, and thankfully no one was up there, but that could have been really, really bad. So when you're going into sight, you guys know it. I mean, it happens to all of us, but we always have to check for the bomb. Who has it? It was Omen this time, and gets a little bit lucky there. So because of that, that could have been a huge misplay. I'm going to knock it down to 3 stars there. I was going to give 4, but I'll go 3 there because that was a misplay for sure. All right, guys, let's talk about how to hit Immortal when playing a controller. So if you guys don't know, not only have I hit Radiant solo queue, but I've also hit Immortal, like Immortal 3 on pretty much every single role in the game, whether it was Duelist or Sentinel. The only one maybe I haven't done yet is Initiator, and that may change with Fade, who knows. But no, for real, how do you hit Immortal with controller? Well, I think the first thing is you have to be a complete support player. Okay, if you are playing smokes or you are playing controller, you need to understand your role just at the most highest of levels. And this comes from a lot of different things, but the most important, in my opinion, is your positioning. Your positioning is what separates you from being a good controller, a good support player, or a good smoke player from an incredible one. And positioning is in a lot of ways what dictates our role in these games, right? The positioning we take in these rounds normally dictates when we take fights, when we get kills, when we die, and how long we're able to stay alive to support our teammates. So good positioning is the first step to getting Immortal as a controller. Now in this round here, a little bit aggressive there on the Astra. You were only on Spectre. I don't hate the play, but I actually think you probably should have killed that guy there. We'll go 3 stars there just because, again, you're trying to get that Vandal for yourself and you're able to buy the next round, so not a big deal. All right, moving into the 4th round, you guys know me. What makes a good Omen? I could talk about this for days. Obviously, most of you watching know me for my Omen gameplay, or if you've seen me on stream, you know me for playing Omen. Now, what I think Omen's all about is using, his smokes, obviously, to support his teammates, but being able to get aggressive and play off of his paranoia. Good paranoia usage and good shadow steps are what really separates the good Omens from the great Omens. Now, in this situation here, we see him get into a little bit of trouble again by just teleporting onto those boxes. I don't really think that there was a reason to do that. You knew there was players garage. You know that they can see that angle, or if you didn't, now you do. So right there, again, you're going down a little bit too early. That's not what we want to see from our support player, especially someone who can regenerate their smokes. You want to be staying alive in these rounds as long as possible post plant. So for throwing your life away early, I have to go 2 stars. All right, your teammate was able to clutch up that round. You guys are looking good here at 4-0 on Haven attack. Now, obviously, the biggest thing with Omen and with any smoke agent for hitting Immortal is your timing. Your timing on your smokes has to be almost perfect, and it's very simple to do, but it's very important to do. Right here, very, very simple mistake though. Obviously, Reyna double leering. The chances of her not peeking this double leer are pretty much 0. You should expect a player coming. You had some bullets left. You just have to back up with your gun out. You can't turn your back on that situation. That was the one option you could not do. Pretty much anything else there, whether you stand there and stare and wait for it, or you back up with your gun out, was better than that. That was a bad decision there. I have to go with 1 round. You're not going to get any value for your teammates on this round. All right, guys, to continue what I was saying in the last round about smoke timing, your smoke timing is super, super important. Okay, your smokes need to be landing based on when your teammates are going to be making contact. It should be about 1 second before. That's a good kind of rule of thumb. You want your smoke to land about a second before your teammates can be in any danger or take any fights, because what the hell is the point of a smoke if it's not going to stop the enemy team from shooting you or your teammates shooting them, right? What's the point? You're blocking vision, you're denying map control, and you're allowing your teammates to take positions that they normally wouldn't be able to. That's the point of a smoke. So if your timing is off, if you are late on smokes, you are worthless in that role until those smokes go down. And remember, the whole point of an Omen or a Brimstone before the engagement on an execute, your whole purpose is to get your smokes down. That's your job, right? So if you have the wrong timing, that's a huge problem. And this is something that a lot of people might think, oh, it's super easy, and it is once you understand it. But a lot of people get this wrong. It's the reason a lot of people will be like, oh, I go smoke this game even though I don't play smokes, and then they play horribly because they just don't understand the timing that a smoke player would. Now in this round, aggressive positioning on A, but the team was going to rotate back. So you kind of have to wonder, what was the game plan there? What was the communication? What was the purpose of that round? I don't love that round on a team level. You were able to get a pretty nice lurk. I would have liked to have seen you guys just try to take that. We'll go 3 stars there though. And moving into round 7 here, let's take a look. Let's see what the plays are. So there is an op sort of near Plat there on C. This makes pushing C super hard. In my opinion, now you want to spread out a bit. You want to start taking control of the map, maybe pressure mid, but unfortunately also going to lose your chamber. That makes this very hard. Okay, not the prettiest of kills there, but you get the job done in the end. Oh, much better crosshair placement on that Omen, and you're going to end up dying there in the end. But those are 2 decent kills. You're going to take some guns away from them. Getting some economic damage, I mean, you know, it helps, but unfortunately, it's not going to really mean much if you guys got smacked in that round anyways. But I have to say, if you guys run into an op C long, unless you're going to full commit with flashes and smokes, you're better off just backing up and trying to execute on another site there. I don't think you did anything terribly wrong on this round. You just weren't really able to get much value, and those were just kind of, you know, frags at the end that don't really mean anything. 3 stars. And the team is going to go on to a light buy here, marshals and just other stuff. So this is a pretty fun round. Let's see if we can get some value here. Remember, when you guys are on these type of rounds, you're looking for any value you can get. You're looking for, you know, maybe killing 1, taking 2 guns away, maybe somehow we're able to end the round with a rifle or something. But most importantly, you got to deal damage, okay? Even if it's just a few shots on somebody, you got to deal some damage. You can't be ending these rounds with 0 damage, because remember, deal damage to someone, guess what? They have to buy shields again. That's the money that's not in their pocket. That can be big. It's a very small thing, you know, 1,000 credits, but every single person gets tagged. That's 5,000 credits off the enemy team. That can go a long way, stopping maybe an op buy, or even stopping the ability to drop a rifle for a teammate. Remember, the macro scale of this game is something we don't talk about enough, but there is some very important things that come on each of these rounds, and why you should never treat any round like a throwaway, if possible. All right, here we are, kind of rotating behind. Teammate, obviously, the team is very, very defensive here. Pretty much just waiting for the defenders to make a mistake, right? This is pretty typical Haven gameplay. You know, obviously, people love pushing on Haven. It's such a great map for flanking as well. And if you want to sit back and wait, you can. Unfortunately here, just going to miss the shot. No value from that round. And just going to, like I said, end the round, 0 damage on that player. Now, thankfully, the team was able to shoot him, so that's good. But just not finding any value here. Team kind of all sitting back, dying. You know, not much going on there. I got to go 2 stars in that round. All right, so watching this so far, let's talk some more about how to hit Immortal. playing as a controller. What do you need to do? What was I able to do to help me get there? If you haven't watched one of my many videos on it, I think I have a couple at this point, but essentially one of the key things about playing controller, one of the key things about playing smokes is you oftentimes are out of the play when the big fights are happening initially. So how can you support your teammate, or your team, I should say? Well, you can. Oh, I was pausing. I like that play a lot. That's the right play there. That should have been a kill, and it was a little bit unfortunate. Maybe if you had some more ammo, you would have felt a little more comfortable just spraying down there. Oh man, that was tough. I'll give you 3 stars there for the effort, even though you do dive. I think that was the right play. But communication is what I was getting at. So 3 stars this round, and communication is how you do it, and I'll explain that in the next round. So as I was saying, when I was solo queuing, right, I'm not somebody with the best aim in the world. Obviously I hit Radiant, my aim's pretty good, but it's not amazing. So what would I do when I was smoking and I was watching my teammates run in? I'd IGL, I'd shot call, I'd call very important information out. I'd let them know my smoke timings. I would tell them if someone was spotted on the map. Those type of call outs go a really long way, because a lot of the times for a lot of you guys out there, your teammates are going to be paying attention to a billion different things. It's going to be hard for them to keep track of everything going on. And sometimes as a smoke player, you're able to look at that mini map a bit more and get more information to your teammates. And that can help them a lot, because those call outs can help alert them without them having to focus on the mini map, letting them play the game and just listen to you. That's a big thing that not enough people do, in my opinion. On this round, again, not much value, 2 stars. All right, so looking at round 11 here, you guys are going down pretty hard, 4-6 now. Haven does fender attackers, I believe, still, in my opinion, so not looking too great. So this smoke right here is a pretty classic smoke, right? This is the smoke for when you want to push out of C. And if you're wondering why, it's because look how much of that smoke is exposed into sight, right? That is when you are going for a push. Now, if they have a smoke player or just anyone smart on their team, they might realize this. So here, going for the TP, and you know, again, it's super aggressive. And I think the problem here is that without the right support from your teammates, you're not really going to be able to get anything done. If we watch this back again, you are going to near sight, but again, that jet just is going to kill you, I believe, from Plat, right? So while you are teleporting in, you're just exposing yourself to another angle. And because you guys had delayed so long, it completely takes away any element of surprise, and the rotates are already there, right? That wasn't fast enough. And that's why you're going to go down and you're going to take a death again. We've seen quite a few of your teleports just resulting in death right now, and that's not looking too good for you. So I have to go 1 star on that round. I see what you were doing, but the execution was so poor, and now there's no value for your team. By the way, just realized it's called Shrouded Step, not Shadow Step. Whatever, same thing, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. All right, here we go. So going for the double smoke onto B. Obviously, you smoke A and C link here, and then the teleport into back site. I don't hate the play, right? If you're going to TP back site, the good thing about it is it's going to give you a lot of information, right? It's going to tell you, hey, is somebody sitting back here as my team pushes in? What's the problem, guys? What's the huge problem with the play that his team does here? I'll tell you. First and foremost, who has the spike teleporting into backside? Or Omen. But what can you not do in a B execute? You cannot send all players into B. Somebody has to hold window. Why? Because Haven is the one map in the game where everybody knows how to flank, and everybody is going to flank. Okay, you have to expect flanks when you execute onto B. You have to have somebody in window, guarding second mid, guarding garage doors, and that is why you die. That was also a bad teleport, 2 stars on the round, even though I don't think your death necessarily was your fault, but someone has to recognize you have no cover in mid there. Just a bad team play overall. All right, guys, moving into the second half of the VOD review here. Saw some interesting things on attack there, but now we're on defense, and Omen on Haven has a lot of fun ways to play defense right here, going for the early smoke to help the teammates. Not a great smoke though. Not sure why that one fell so short there. That wasn't a good smoke at all, but Omen can use Shrouded Step so often on defense to get high ground. Very good to do, something I did a lot in my own grind to Radiant. I love taking high ground on this map, especially in mid and on A site. Now here, gonna go down to the Reyna. Some nice headshots, honestly, but Reyna, once again, Probably overhealing at some point in that round. Sucks. That's what Reyna does though, and that's why she's so strong in pistols. But you did everything you could, right? You rotate, you tried to smoke. The smoke was bad, but you get a kill. The thought was there. I'll go 4 stars in that round, right? You didn't lose that site. Unfortunately, your teammates did. I also think that's something that's really important to talk about too, is that don't ever be too hard on yourself if the enemy team is hitting the opposite site and you're not really having any impact on rounds. I mean, what are you supposed to do, right? You can't just teleport across the map unless you're like Chamber or Yoru, or maybe you're Omen with a teleport, right? It's just one of those unrealistic things where I think that people get in their heads too much about their scoreline when their other team is just attacking the opposite site. It's like, dude, you weren't over there. You have to now play a retake every round. Not your fault. In this round, gonna get some value. Finally, getting some value on an eco, killing that Reyna. You know, what more can you ask for? You got a shorty there, you're trying to retake site, maybe try to play a bit more with your teammates, but I think one was above you and you were worried about that, so you're able to kill. We'll go 4 stars in that round for finding value on that eco. Ooh, look at this, guys. Oh, this is what I like to see right here. This is something I did all the time. So round 15, and we're going to be taking high ground, but not like heaven. We're going to be taking this double box here on the sewer walk up, right? So this is a great spot. Now, I personally did not used to smoke this. I would actually smoke the walk-in, so I would smoke down low, but look at the value already. Now that teleport was not a good TP. This KO is oblivious. Oh man, oh gosh, what just happened there? Okay, we gotta go back here because there's so much going on, so much to talk about. So the reason I don't do this is because I want to be able to shoot the guys that walk in below me and from a main, and by smoking that, you actually smoke off your vision, so then you also can't get vision for your teammates to help them peek, so you're kind of like stuck in there. Then you drop down and you have to ask yourself, okay, Jet obviously doesn't think you're there because no one's in that corner, right? That where you drop down, which is good, but once you're down there, you've kind of given up that high ground. You shouldn't really be able to go back up there. Thankfully, KO, a huge misplay on his part, so it works out in the end. But what I would definitely advise you to do is smoke right here where that Reyna was looking at, the entrance. That way, as they walk through the smoke, you have vision on them, and chances of them looking up at you are pretty much 0. 4 stars in the round. Okay, guys, what are some controller tips for defense if you guys are trying to hit Immortal? Well, I think the big one here is your smokes need to be used early and often to deny pushes, right? One of the key things that you can do as a controller is making sure the enemy team never gets a free push into a site. And what I mean by a free push is that there should be no situation in which they just use like one flash and then walk in, right? You want to smoke it and you want to force them to be like, okay, we got a flash here, I need a stun here, you know, I'm gonna need you to dash this way, and we're gonna smoke this angle, because now they don't have vision, right? Denying vision is so much more than just, you know, a simple, I don't even know what I'm saying, necessity. I don't even know. It's so important to do because it forces the enemy team to use abilities. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever done a retake where it feels like the enemy team has every ability in the goddamn game? I have. It's very frustrating. And part of that is because there's not enough defensive abilities being used prior to the take of a site, allowing them to save up on everything and just have everything ready for a retake. So important to use your smokes. That's a really long way of saying to use your smokes. Good kill on the round there. 4 stars. And a good smoke finally. That was a good smoke on the push. So in my opinion, so far, defense has looked a lot better. I think that as a controller player myself, I always felt more comfortable on defense. And part of the fun with defense is you get to kind of control where you play with your smokes. And you can do a lot of cool things with those smokes to play around. Right here, though, good job helping your teammates find that kill. I'm curious what you're doing here. This is super aggressive. And because of how near sight works, you might actually be putting yourself at a lot of risk by just walking down there like that, because someone could easily be in one of those corners. And you're gonna have a hard time because of near sight's range. They might be able to kill you. Now that teleport, I have no idea what that shrouded step was for, but looks like this player is spotted in garage. So overall, you know, decent. And what I like here, I don't know if everyone picked up on that, but that was a fake shrouded step because he knows that they have seen him play on those double boxes, and by faking the shrouded step, it says, hey, now you got to check if I'm here when you come out of this. And he did the smoke I was telling you about as well. That's really nice. Changing up how you play. Remember, unpredictability is key if you guys are trying to rank up. You want to hit Immortal, you cannot be predictable. Good job on that round. I'm gonna go 4 stars. Man, I'd love to give him a 5-star round here, but it's just these rounds have been consistently good, I would say. Nothing is blowing me away. He's still doing some little mistakes here and there, you know, just that could kind of throw away his life. But overall, he's been adding a lot of value. And remember, when I rate these games, I'm looking for the value you add in a round. Now, this smoke again, unless someone is telling you to not smoke off the entire angle, what on earth is happening, right? Unless you're trying to play off of someone's utility, you know, force them to one side, just smoke it like normal. And Reyna spotted close, so you're gonna go for the kill to help them. Weren't able to get there in time, but listen, I can't let you keep getting away with that. I'm not 100% sure why. Maybe you could tell me why you're smoking like that, but if you're smoking like that, not on purpose, you gotta stop that. That's bad. 2 stars. Guys, I'll say it once, I'll say it a billion times. Leaving cracks in your smokes is one of the easiest ways to tilt your teammates and lose games. It is so often that when a teammate sees a smoke down, they expect a level of, let's say, competency, right? And if you are failing to put the smoke in the right spot, you're leaving cracks and they die because of it, ooh, that is not a good thing. And unfortunately, it happens way more often than you think. Take your time on your smokes. Make sure that it's much more important to make sure your smoke lands in the proper spot than it is to necessarily have an extra, you know, 0.15 of a second on that smoke. In this round here, just gonna be supporting again, not too much to do. We'll go 3 stars there and we'll keep it moving. All right, guys, as we jump into round 20, you're gonna notice here a new position. We haven't seen this yet. And like I said, being unpredictable is super important. This is a new position in a new spot. The enemy team has not seen him here yet. I love it. Now that's okay. That doesn't necessarily mean he has to move. The reason he doesn't have to move is because that knife does not tell them where he is, just that he was spotted with it. So this is still totally fine. That will partially give away where he's playing, and that's a bad play. That's 1 star. Now, you cannot just jump out of garage like that with something like 4 players alive with only 2 spotted on the mini-map. That's a really, really low reward, high risk play, bad play overall, and you kind of threw your life away there. So 1 star. Guys, remember what I said early on in this game, right? Is that one of the most important things for trying to hit Immortal as a controller is valuing your life and staying alive, and sort of just not being over aggressive, because that's not your role, right? Sorry, I just like hiccuped. That's not your role. Your role is not to be super aggressive every round. And sometimes we take these unnecessary risks that just have such a low chance of working, right? And that last round was a great example of it. There was really no chance of that working, and you just jump out and die for nothing when you could have helped your team possibly to win that round, or to have a better chance at winning that round, I should say. Obviously, you never know if you're going to win or lose if you live, but chances are you're going to help if you're alive. Now, pressure in garage. You guys have given up garage control. I like that. So this is a good use of shrouded step. You actually were, I think you were getting shot at there. So it's good that you moved like that. Chamber is going to be able to take a kill onto the KO who was pushing garage. Oh, but a ton of people start pushing garage there and you're going to go down. So overall in this round, you weren't really able to get too much value from how you played it. It was a good job of shrouding stepping away from a position where you were in danger. I like that. But in the end, you're just going to kind of die there. Now going to get rezzed here. So a chance for redemption. You've got your smoke up. Let's see what the plan is. Okay, both smokes up. You guys rolling around. Like I said, not great, not bad from you. I just think that you want to find a way to work with your chamber there to just peek that together, so you're not finding that situation where even if you kill that jet, that Astra probably trades you out. Anyways, we'll go 3 stars in that round. So another thing I want to talk about, right, is communication, but to communicate your flashes when you're playing Omen in particular. So this is something that I had to learn, something that I had to work on as well, because using a paranoia, you can blind your teammates. You got to be careful with it, but it is such a good ability to use when your team is pushing a certain spot. Maybe split a ramp. Knowing how to flash from the sewer there, so good. But in this round, take a look at this teleport. This is a nice job getting behind the enemy team, maybe even using that Astra wall to your advantage. Now, gonna get shot there by, I don't even know who that was, but it was a Marshall taking some damage. Let's see what the plan is now. 4v2 here, gonna be important to stay alive. I think the worst thing you could do is just kind of run out and die. So both in garage is the call right now. You definitely could have moved. And I don't hear you really calming. I can't hear your mic. That's no kidding. I can't hear you calm there. But hopefully you calmed out that you were going to paranoia that. It looked like your Sage was also moving as well. So maybe there was a good calm there, actually. And it looks like the call is that they're in garage. There's 1 kill. And a nice job by the team. I love that, man. If you guys watch the mini-map in that round, you just see them all kind of collapse on a garage there. Really, really nice job with that round. And we'll take a look here. Hopefully he hits tab. We can see if he got a paranoia on somebody, if someone was nearsighted. Looks like we're going to be a bit AFK. Overall, though, a decent round. I'm going to go with 4 stars there. All right, moving into match point here. As we see, you've got a 2-2-1 setup with chamber anchoring onto C here. Now, they have been putting a lot of pressure in garage, so honestly, it might have been smart to smoke garage in some of these rounds earlier, just to help with some of that pressure. You know, remember, one of the roles as a controller, if you guys are trying to rank up, you need to know how to deny pressure, and if a spot is being taken early and often, tell your teammates, hey, I'm going to smoke this early, and you guys play off of it, because sometimes that's all the help people need. Now, that teleport, I don't know about that one, my friend. That was super risky. You definitely could have died for that if anybody was in mid-steps window or something and holding. That was a pretty lucky job there, but hey, gonna work out in the end. I would have liked to have seen you kill one of those people as they cross, but you're gonna find that kill onto the player in window, and your team is gonna be able to clean up the rest of this round, it looks like, and you guys will take this 13-10. A lot to talk about in the VOD summary, so let's move into that right now. All right, guys, so after watching that VOD, I definitely think I can give some good advice here on a few things in particular. The first thing is, make sure you're not leaving cracks in your smoke, right? We can't be doing it at this rank, even if your teammates are trying to play a certain way. I just don't think it's worth it. Just smoke like normal. But on top of that, I'd like to see your positioning improve a little bit. I think that you often found yourself in a spot where maybe you had a good idea of how you wanted to play it in the beginning, but in the end, it just didn't always look like you were super comfortable with where you were playing. Try to find new positions and new ways to play in certain areas. And remember, try to play off your team a little bit more. A lot of your fights, a lot of your kills are really just 1v1s, you running at somebody, taking a fight, right? Playing off your team is so important for playing as a controller. Remember, you are a support. You need to make sure you're trading kills. We didn't actually see too much of that in this game. A lot of your kills are you killing someone, you dying, and that being the end of it. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is your usage of your shrouded step. I think that you get yourself into a lot of trouble with your shrouded step that at higher ranks you're going to get super punished for. So just remember that a lot of these teleports you're doing, you're going to get killed, right? You're going to take damage. It's not worth it. Always, if you guys have a shrouded step, try to use it pre-lobby on defense. As always, make sure you're teleporting early, but at the same time, you have some nice plays with it too. Good repositioning, and I really like that fake that you did on A as well. So that tells me you understand how to use it. You just need to be a bit more careful with it. And then moving into carefulness, well, how can we not talk about valuing your life? There are definitely a few rounds where I think that as a controller, you're dying a bit too early. You're losing a lot of the value that you can have in these games and in these rounds by dying early. Your value just goes up and up and up as the round goes on because you're playing Omen. Those smokes regenerate. It's massive. You have to stay alive. The next thing, though, is let's talk about ultimate usage. Realistically, you want to use that for executes onto sites, communicate locations for your teammates. I think you might have done that one round on B. Could probably been a bit better there. And on defense, it's a bit harder to use, maybe for rotates, things like that. But that's not really the point I want to make here. The point that I actually want to make is I want to talk about your paranoia usage. I think that we didn't see a lot of value from it. Your paranoia is oftentimes the best ability to use to support teammates, and there just wasn't a lot of that in this game. There's a lot of different types of paranoias you can do in garage, on attack. Obviously, attack is heavily favored for using your paranoia to support, and realistically, it just didn't seem to get too much value from you. So one thing I'd work on for you is your positioning, your shrouded step usage, valuing your life a bit more, and making sure you're finding value with your paranoia. It's such an important ability to be able to get value from, and it really does take a good Omen to that next level, and that's what you need if you want to have any chance getting to Immortal. With that being said, I think that's where we're going to end here. I really think that, you know, overall your aim is not a worry of mine, so you definitely can play at that level. It's just working on the utility usage, your positioning, and making sure you're valuing your life. That's the big thing moving forward. So thanks so much for watching, and that was a ton of fun to watch. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy, and peace.